That is, the real thing.
Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Letting them all come in here. Hi, Eve. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Jamaica. Hi, Darren. Hi, Zach. Is it Tamara? I think it's Tamara. Tamara. I get it wrong every week. Hi, Darren. Good to see you.
You too.
I
Laura,
missed
did you
you.
ask me something?
I just said, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. It's just your voice got lost, so.
No, don't worry. Don't worry at all. All good. Oh, look, somebody brought their AI note taker. I love it. I love it. Take notes for me. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to continue to let people in here, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today's topic is finding new clients, which is, I think, the one thing we all struggle with. Where's my next paycheck coming from? Where's my next client coming from? Maybe you're just getting started in this business. You have no idea where your clients are coming from. And so I like every now and then to talk about like various strategies that I've used over 25 years to find clients. And but I want to talk first with you while I'm letting people in about the difference between active prospecting and passive prospecting. Okay. And so when you hand out your card to somebody, that's passive, right? You're going to die or collect Social Security before that person ever calls you, right? We want to engage in, when you are looking at prospecting, I want you to weigh which one are you doing? Are you doing active prospecting or passive? Because if you are just handing out information to somebody without collecting their information in return, that is going to be a passive activity. So mailing postcards, dropping off flyers somewhere, handing out your business card, those are all going to be passive activities, right? You have no ability to follow up with that person. You have no ability to continue marketing to that person. So my advice to you is that when you are thinking about ways in which you're going to find new clients, ask yourself first, is this passive or is this active? Okay. Again, and if you are just handing something to someone thinking that they're going to hold on to that for life and call you, they're not. They're going to forget about you. They're going to move on to the next shiny thing, the next realtor they meet at the next open house, whatever that is. So I would encourage you to always gauge yourself, is this passive or is this active? I want you to focus more on active lead generation strategies, which means you are getting people's contact information in return. You have some ability to follow up with them. And that the ball is in your court always, not in the clients or the customers. Okay. So that's first and foremost. Well, let me pull up my notes here. And if you attended a class earlier this week with me, you've already kind of seen this, but I'm talking about it again. So for those of you that haven't seen it, it's all going to be new to you. But what I call this is the 4 quadrants of clients. Okay. And the reason I've put it in 4 different quadrants for you is because I feel like they're each 4 different types of activities. And before I get started on sharing, I want you guys to participate with me. If you've closed any business previously, tell me where clients have come to you from in the past. What are some strategies that have worked for you in the past? I know Jamaica, Darren, Eve, I know you guys have Holly, you've all had clients. So whoever wants to share, Debbie, where have your clients come from in the past?
For me, my clients were always people that I knew, friends.
Okay, so your sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence. Before I got I'm still a licensed massage therapist, but before I got into real estate, I was doing massage therapy, and I got a couple clients that way.
Okay.
But most of mine have been through people that I know.
Right. And I love that for you, because that's a whole lot easier to convert than a stranger. Remember, strangers are 8 times harder to convert as clients, right?
Well, but yeah, and that's where I am right now is that, you know, right now I don't have anybody that's, you know, I'm looking for people that I don't know.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to find out is like, how do I, because I'm trying different things and nothing seems to be working. So it's a little
Sure.
frustrating.
Yeah, some of it is not that it's nothing seems to be working. So one of the things I will tell you, and if you've worked with me any amount of time, you've heard me say this before, is that it's not that it's not working, it's that we don't have evidence of what we're doing as working for 30, 60, 90 days. We also work on a 30-day sales cycle, right? So the things that you're doing today, you don't get instant gratification on to know that they're working sometimes for 3 to 6 months. And by then we've already pivoted and moved in a different direction because we didn't see what we were doing as working sometimes, right? So sometimes I'm going to encourage you, if the strategy that you're trying has not produced fruit yet, sometimes there's a tweak that needs to be done to the strategy. And maybe you need to just do a session with me and call me so that I can help you tweak it. Sometimes the way that you're doing the strategy is not fully like thought through, like there's another layer to it or something we need to add on in the follow-up. And sometimes the strategy is not for your personality. Sometimes the strategy has worked for a different agent, but it doesn't work for your target client who you're trying to attract, and it doesn't work for you, right? We have to keep that in mind. Like there's thousands of strategies out there. We always want to try to duplicate what somebody else has used because we want to get, you know, we want to duplicate that success, but sometimes that strategy is not for us, right? Sometimes that strategy is not even relative to who our target client is, who we work best with. That strategy might produce leads, but are they the kind of leads that you're good at converting? Are they the kind of leads that are your target client? Do they produce the kind of customers and clients that you want to actually work with? Right? I could tell all of you like to go door knock on houses or whatever, and there's some people that would make them crap their pants. And there's other people that would have the police called on them. And then other people that, you know, they would be invited in for dinner and share a loaf of bread. And now they're the dog's godparents. It just depends on the person and the personality. And so that is the one thing I want you to understand is that you need to lean in to who you are and what your skill set is and your personality type and how that relates to who your target client is, right? You need to lean into your hobbies and your personal interests and what makes you tick, what makes the special sauce you, and make sure that the activities that you're engaging in are geared towards attracting the person that you want to work with, okay? So let's dive in a little bit. Some people, other people in the chat suggested OpCity, which is one of those platforms that they provide you leads, and if you close it, you pay them a referral fee upon closing. There are probably 100 companies like that. Most of them have no setup fee. You just go in and sign up, and then your broker signs the referral form, and you get set up on their platform. And it's usually a play-to-play platform. Okay. And what that means is that the more you sell with them, the better leads you get, right? So when you first start out on OpCity, you might get crap leads that are like $25,000 or up to $100,000, which in most markets, you can't afford anything in those price ranges, right? But the reality is that once you sell things with them, you start getting much better leads. So with OpCity, I might have started out at $100,000, but as I closed more deals, the leads started to increase. They were 750, 950, 1.2 million, 2.3. It was a play-to-play platform. Okay. There are other platforms that are pay-to-play. Those are going to be your Zillow kind of platforms where you're buying leads, or homes.com or something like that. Unless you just are individually wealthy, independently wealthy, I would tell you that your return on your investment for a lot of those pay-to-play platforms is very low. You're going to get maybe 3 to 7 leads, and that's going to cost you anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 and up a month to get internet leads that are 8 times harder to convert. Okay, so just be mindful that there are plenty of people that buy leads, but the return on those leads, you're spending a lot of money to get those leads, and the cost per lead is very high. I would rather see you invest your money on loving on people, meeting new people in your life, engaging in some activity on how to stay in front of those people than to chase strangers on the internet all day. You're going to have a higher conversion rate. You're going to have better success. The clients that you're going to work with, you're going to be happier with. They're not going to drag you all over town for 3 years. They're not going to like shop around on you with 15 other realtors. You're building a relationship, right? You're going to have a whole lot better conversion than that. So I wanted to talk first about passive versus active, and I wanted to talk to you about pay to play and play to play, and make sure you understand the difference between the two. Those two platforms, even on the play to play platform like OpCity, Ojo, UpNest, those are 3 good ones that I get a ton of leads from all the time. They are not ever, I'm not going to meet my goals, the goals that I have for myself and my business just through that platform. That is just one strategy. I am always on a minimum deploying 7 to 10 strategies of where my business is coming from at all times. So you should have a varied methodology of getting clients that changes based on the activities that you enjoy doing. Holly said she got a lot of hers came from her sphere of influence, open houses, and her workplace, which means she did a good job. If you're getting clients from your workplace, like let's say you have another job, then you've done a good job of making sure people know that you also sell real estate and they trust you enough that they see you as a realtor and not just as that employee of the business that you're working at. And that's very hard to do, because if you met someone in your accounting job, they see you as an accountant and you just do real estate on the side. And what you have to do is make sure people see you as a realtor and you happen to have a job, but you own a small business. Do you see the mindset shift between the two? They have to see you as not real estate on the side. That's never going to put you where you want to be in terms of your goals you're trying to reach. So let's get into it. The 4 quadrants of clients, and I will start with strangers because that's where a lot of agents are comfortable chasing strangers because there's no vulnerability in that. If a stranger tells you no, you don't get your feelings hurt. If a stranger tells you no, you move on to the next one, you know? But when you reach out to somebody you know and you're selling yourself as a realtor and you're trying to explain to them your services and how you work, if they tell you no, it hurts a little. It stings. We get our feelings hurt. Our ego's bruised. We also put ourselves out there. We don't know how they're going to react or respond sometimes. So it's easier and safer to go after strangers, but it's harder to convert strangers to clients, right? There's no loyalty. There's no relationship with you. They don't even know your value yet. They also had just entered their information on some godforsaken website, and now they have 287 people calling them. Now they're annoyed because that lead is sold to 5 agents, right? So just know that the strangers quadrant exists, but it's a lot harder to convert these, okay? Obviously, cold calling, there are some people who are very skilled at cold calling. I had one kid fresh out of licensing that sold 28 houses his first year, and all 28 of them came from being on a dialer all day. And all he did was red X and called and circle prospecting all day long. He was on the phone for 8 hours a day easily. That's not for me. But he sold 28 houses his first year and he learned how to do it. And then that was his strategy. But cold calling isn't for everyone. You got to have some tough skin. You got to get a lot of no's. You got to get really good at leaving very crafty messages to get people to call you back. And you have to be willing to try something 300 times and only get 1 or 2 people to call you back. The rate of conversation is very low of that, okay? Circle prospecting is meaning that you are looking for activity that's already happening. So I can go call all the neighbors within a 25-mile radius of one of my listings. That would be considered circle prospecting. I could also go in the MLS and I can find a brand new listing that just came to the market and prospect around that brand new listing to see if anybody else is interested in selling their house. Okay. I could take something that goes under contract and contact people around that house that went under contract. I can do something passive and send out postcards. I can do something passive and send out letters. I can do something active by actually knocking on the doors around those houses if you're into that kind of thing. I just don't like involving the dogs, and I don't like knocking on people's doors, because then that makes me feel like a salesperson. And I'm not a salesperson. I provide an elevated professional service. Do you see accountants knocking on the doors ever? Do you see attorneys knocking on the doors ever? No. But for some people, door knocking is very profitable for them. They're making friends with their neighbors. They're meeting people. You know, they're giving out information and it works for them. It just depends on your personality, right? But door knocking is more active than passive, is what I'm getting at, right? Even if you're leaving door hangers on the door, if somebody comes to the door and talks to you, you have an opportunity to get their information. For sale by owners are going to be difficult because you're going to have to fight them on money. They always go try it on themselves because they think they can save money on commissions and fees, right? But what we know as agents is that historically, statistically, the National Association of Realtors says for sale by owners only receive 91 or 92% of their list price. With the assistance of a realtor and proper marketing, sellers are receiving 98 or 99% of list price in the Nashville market. In some markets, they might be getting 100%. In some markets, they might only be getting 92% or 95%. You've got to find out what the percent is that sellers are getting. But what you want to do with for sale by owners is show them the math. You take their for sale by owner price, multiply it by 92%. You take my price, my suggested price, multiply it by 99%, and then back out my fee. And if I can show you that you can actually net more money and still pay my fee, why would you want to go it alone? If I can actually help you make more money. But you're always going to have the conversation about money and fight and advocate for your fee with a for sale by owner. That's the reason they're all doing for sale by owner. They're trying to save money. So just know that. With expireds and withdrawns, you're going to have a lot of conversations about condition and price. Typically, if homes are withdrawn off the market, it is either because the house wasn't selling or they had a life situation that changed. Maybe there was a job transfer that prompted the sale to begin with, and now that job fell apart, and now they don't have to sell. You got to get to the root of why the house was taken off of the market. On the expired, you're going to have a lot of conversations about price and condition. Most listings that expire did so because the price was not appropriate for the condition of the property. My mother was a realtor, and she built a big portion of her business working for expireds and withdrawns every single day. But my mom also had to put a lot of work in getting these houses ready for the market. A lot of times the sellers did not have the money to do that or weren't willing to spend the money. And so she'd be over there blowing the leaves off the yard, you know, scrubbing the hardwood floors, deep cleaning the house, giving them furniture to stage it. You know, she did more than what I would teach you or coach you to do. But what I want to tell you is that in order to win over expireds and withdrawns, you're going to have to fight with them or consult with them on bringing their condition of the property to where it needs to be to go on the market, or you're going to have a conversation about price that they are just not willing to hear. They haven't been willing to hear it before. One advantage about expireds is that they already know what price didn't work. The market told them that. That's why it expired. Debbie said sphere of influence, and then she used a platform called Sync, which is a CRM and lead generation platform. She used follow-up boss leads and open houses, which again, all of which are great strategies for finding clients. We're going to talk about a few others. Let's move down to the online quadrant, because to me, the left-hand side of this is more, traditional passive activities. And so online quadrant at the bottom left there, obviously your social media. There are lots of agents that spend a lot of time worried about what's on social media, what they post on social media. They hire people to post on social media for them every month. They're worried that they don't know how to make a reel. They don't know how to do TikToks. They're not doing those stupid dances. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to be a specialist in LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram and Reels and Facebook. Where is your target client living? Right? I have these agents all the time that are like, can you teach me how to do Reels? Well, who's your target client? Oh, well, I work with mostly seniors that are downsizing. Do you think they're on TikTok? No. They're still reading the gosh darn newspaper. That's where you should be if your client is 80, right? Where's your client? And then that is where you need to determine, where am I going to spend my time? You also do not have to be across every platform. Choose the platform you like the best, that you know how to navigate the best, where your target client lives. And then just be consistent. You don't have to post every single day, but how often are people hearing from you? And what are they hearing from you? If you are shoving real estate down their throat, you've already lost. They don't care. They want to know about you. What are you doing? That's why it was created. People love to be voyeuristic. They want to know what your dog ate yesterday. They want to know what kind of, what your grandbaby's doing. They want to know what you're doing behind the scenes, right? You're planting seeds. Social media is a place for people to get to know you before they ever call you, right? So I'm just telling you that there are lots of agents who generate opportunities from social media. But if you do a deep dive into their social media, you will see they are not promoting first-time homebuyer loan programs every day. They're not posting just the static picture of the fronts of houses. They're not posting just memes every day thinking they're generating clients. They have deliberate postings that have to do with their local area. They're highlighting local businesses. They're highlighting behind the scenes activities with their business. They're sharing pertinent information that buyers or sellers might want to know. But they're not shoving monthly statistics down your throat and think that someone's going to call you from a monthly statistic report. They're not. They don't even know what those statistics mean. But if you took the monthly statistics and said, let me give you the top 3 things that these statistics tell me, I want you to think about what a consumer wants to know. Are the prices going up or are they going down? That's what a consumer wants to know. Am I going to get 99% or 100% of my list price, or am I only going to get 90? What's happening in the market? How much in closing costs am I going to have to pay myself, or are sellers willing to pay some? How many days on the market on average is it taking to sell a house? Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? That is what clients want to know. They don't know anything about how many months inventory we have. They don't care if we sold more houses this month than last month, only if that is indicative of a market shift. But break the statistics down in pieces that are understandable to them. Why do they care about the statistics? Why should they care about the statistics? For me right now, I'm sharing information about the statistics and summarizing the most important parts because I want them to understand that it is still a good time to get in the market. I'm trying to boost buyer confidence. I'm letting them know that while they're hearing on the news that we're in a recession and that they're hearing that houses aren't selling and they're just sitting, but that's not true. That's not an accurate reflection of our market in my marketplace. I want them to know that there's still houses for selling. There's still multiple offers on some properties that are prepared properly for the market and priced appropriately. I want them to know that it's okay to enter the market even at where the rates are coming down. And what happens when the rates come down? Prices go up. Do you think that the normal Joe, average Joe consumer knows that? They don't know that. They've been sitting on the fence waiting for the prices to come down. Have they come down significantly enough for them to feel comfortable yet? No. So we need them to be confident to go in the market. We need them to understand that now is as good a time to buy as any. And that actually a lot of lenders have the ability to do a refinance for free. And so it's not, if you can withstand buying now and can afford that a payment for a short period of time, you may want to buy now before the prices go up again. Another 10% or another 7%, another 5%. What kind of house can you afford if the prices go up another 7%? And do you think the common consumer that's following you on social media, do you think that they know how much a mortgage payment is for a $450,000 house? They don't do it every day. They don't see it every day. They have no idea. That is the kind of content that your clients, that your customers, people who are watching you on social media want to know. Stop posting the static picture of the front of the house. Post the picture of the kitchen, the deck of the backyard, the park that's nearby. You need to sell a lifestyle, not the sticks and bricks of the house. Does that make sense? Shake your head yes for me so I can hear the rocks rattle. All right, thanks, Debbie. All right, YouTube is another source of clients as well. If done properly and done correctly, you can become a hyper local expert just by talking about your community and the neighborhoods that you love and the small businesses that exist on YouTube. The keywords, I want you to remember, YouTube is owned by whom? Google, right? Google owns YouTube, which means everything you do on YouTube is indexed in keyword search and it feeds into the Google algorithm. So if somebody is searching for a house in Asheville, North Carolina, and I have created a series of videos all about Asheville, North Carolina, guess what comes up before all these other websites? My YouTube channel comes up before these other things. I'm not telling you you have to go out and be a star on YouTube, but if this is something you're interested in, if this is something that you feel like your target client could find you, if you do a lot of relocation business, YouTube is a great place to be if you're trying to attract clients moving from another state. Because the first thing you do when you find out you're moving to another place is go online. And you want to research the town. You want to know what it's like to live there. You want to know about the neighborhoods that exist. You want to know what things to avoid. That's all content you can put on YouTube. You can even start very slowly with, hi, my name is Debbie Buckner. I'm a realtor in Nashville, Tennessee. Let me tell you about myself. A quick little introduction video of yourself lives forever on Google, on your YouTube channel. But it's still indexed by Google and can be found in the search engine results, even if that's the only video you created. You should also put that same introduction video on your Google My Business page. Okay? There are people who are great at getting clients from YouTube. Again, it's something that if you're going to do, you have to do consistently. You're not going to put out 3 videos and all of a sudden make $25 million. You're not going to put out 3 videos and all of a sudden have 13 transactions. But one thing I will tell you, if you do some keyword, here's the other beautiful thing about YouTube. There's actually tools out there that you can put keyword searches in to see what people are searching to find. What are they searching for on YouTube? And it will tell you the highest ranking keywords, and those are the things that you create videos about. So it's not like you're doing it in the dark where you're just deciding, I think I'll create a video on the best pizza in Asheville. I'm going to know whether or not someone's searching for information about pizza in Asheville. And I'm going to create videos based on what the most popular keywords are. Does all that make sense? Yes. All right. Websites, obviously. Every agent that gets started in this business, everyone's told, go out and get your own website, or your company provides you with a landing page website or a version of some type of website. But here's the problem. Your website is only as good as the traffic you drive to it. So a lot of people are super concerned about, well, I don't get any leads on my website. Well, where can people find your website? Do you even come up in search engine rankings? It's very hard for you and I'm going to use an example in Nashville. You cannot compete with the money Gary Ashton has spent to promote his website. You're never going to come up above him in the search engine results unless you're doing something different, right? But you can come up in results based on things that people are looking for that are not necessarily related to real estate. Someone might want to know about the neighborhoods in town. They might want to know about sports activities or concerts or whatever. If you're dragging them to your website, then that's how you're going to start generating leads. But if only 2 people have ever seen your website in the 5 years you've been in real estate, what's the point of having it? You're not utilizing it. Your clients are still searching for properties on Zillow and Redfin and wherever, not on your website. You want to control what you can control, which means your website has to be something that you are driving people to. So whether you're mailing things out that are very passive, That should have a link to your website. It should have some QR code that sends people to your website to register for something. So you're collecting electronic information so that you can market to them in return. Make sense? All right. Facebook groups and marketplace, another source of business for a lot of people. Some Facebook groups are 100% a gold mine. And that just depends on how active you are in the groups. If you think you're just going to start a group and the money's going to pour in, you're wrong. You have to be super active in the group. You have to contribute to the group. And when people click on your profile, the first thing they need to see is that you're a realtor. And who do you specialize in? Who do you help? I can't tell you how many friend requests I get every day where I click on the profile. I don't even know what state the person's in, what city they're in, and I have no idea what they do for a living. If you're commenting on Facebook groups, the first thing people are going to do when you comment and they want to know more about you is they click on your profile. Does your profile present your business the way you want it presented? Can people find out where you live, where you work, what market you serve, who your target client is from the profile information that you have available? That's an easy thing to fix. You can be very creative in producing leads through Facebook Marketplace and through Facebook groups. The more active and engaged you are in the groups, the more things of value that you provide to the group. You cannot be an asshole. An asshole is someone who just asks for things all the time and gives nothing, right? I want you to be the person that contributes. You're the town mayor. You have the resources for everything. If somebody's looking for a math tutor, I got them. Someone's looking for a mobile pet nail trimmer that trims dogs' nails, I got it. If they need a barber, if they need whatever they need, I want them to come to me. I want them to ask me who I recommend. And I'm always going to work in, I always recommend this person to my clients, and they've all loved them. Even when you say my clients, people go, I wonder what kind of business they're in. And they click on your profile and they know. That's how you can get around advertising on websites like Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app that is very neighborhood centric. You know, they want you to pay to advertise on it. I wouldn't recommend that. But I will tell you, you can engage with people on Nextdoor by saying, my clients used this person. My clients liked this person. My clients have asked me, this is who I've referred to all my clients. And then on your profile, you make sure that it puts that you're the neighborhood expert, the local realtor. But you're going to work in my clients so without advertising yourself. That's how you're going to work in that you have clients and that people are going to look up what your profession is. Blogging and vlogging, people will say blogs are very 1990, but one thing that I will tell you about blogs is that they actually are also keyword driven. Right? Everything that you write in a blog or a vlog on YouTube is all, you write the description, you write the captions, you write the keywords, and that's all indexed by Google. Okay? So blogging and vlogging is still a thing that does produce results. Remember, any of these things that you're creating content for, like your social media and your blogs and things, there should always be a call to action to get someone to do something after they read it or watch it. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to comment on it? Because engagement will also help you get found and get seen by more people. Do you want them to call you? Most people don't use their phones for that. So stop saying, call me at da 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 da. They're not going to call you. They're going to send you a message. They might comment on your Instagram post. They might comment on your LinkedIn post. But guess what? People are not picking up the phone to call you. They're going to start a conversation through text or email, generally. The ones that call you are super serious. They may already have a relationship with you. They might call you because they already feel like they know you because you've given them so much content that they know a lot about you. Right? Reels and TikToks, again, if that's not where your target client lives, don't worry about that. But there are lots of people who produce clients from Reels and TikToks. I would tell you that your content should be, it cannot just be educational. It needs to be entertaining and informative. But I want you to think about yourself. Like, put yourself in the shoes of the viewer that you're trying to attract. What do they want to see about you that would make them reach out to you? What are you giving them that would make it worthwhile? So you might dangle things like coupons for local area businesses that you've orchestrated. You might give them discounts. My moving company gives anyone that gives them my name 10% off their services, right? Do you have those kinds of promotions that people can message you to get the coupon code? Do you have things that they want? They may not want a home buyer's guide, but they might want your guide to the best places to see live music. They might want your guide to the best places to put in a kayak. Where are the best hiking trails? Where are the best pet-friendly patios? Where are your favorite top 10 pizza places? Whatever, right? Where are the best restaurants with patios when it gets to be spring? I'm always looking for an outdoor patio. Those are the kind of things people want. They don't necessarily want your home buyer guide, even if they are thinking about becoming a home buyer. What I'm telling you is build a relationship that is not based solely on real estate first. Be the helper, the town mayor, the connector to the things that they want and need. They will see you as the realtor and understand. You will have your chance to show your value and how smart you are in real estate, how prepared and competent you are. But first, you got to get them talking to you. And the only way they're going to talk to you is if you have something of interest to them, or if they relate to you in some way. I don't know about you, but I like clients that have jobs. And typically people that have jobs are on LinkedIn. So I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn's come a long way in the last 5 years in the ability to post articles, to post links to things like engagement. LinkedIn is a great place for you to find, especially if your target client is in a certain industry, or if you're trying to make connections with people who have certain positions, like hiring managers, HR directors, CEOs of smaller companies. All of that information is usually in people's profile on LinkedIn. So if I want, so here's a prime example. I'm giving you all my secrets today, but it's fine. That's what I do. They're not secrets because when you win, I win. We all win, right? But here's the thing, like every time a doctor gets hired on by a hospital or a nurse, they go through what's called credentialing. So there is a credentialing officer in every hospital. That credentialing officer is verifying their transcripts, is verifying their coursework, it's verifying that they have whatever credentials that they need to have to practice medicine or to be a nurse in their facility. Well, do you know how much money I've made off of the credentialing person in Nashville at Vanderbilt? He's a friend of mine. He sends me people all the time because the credentialing person is usually, besides the department head, is literally one of the first people they talk to when they get a job there. You want people who have influence to have your information. You want them to refer people to you, but you have to make friends with the person who has influence, who is the connector, who is in an opportunity to promote business and to promote you to their people. You want to earn their trust that when they hire a new doctor, a new nurse, a new employee, that you're going to take amazing care of them. You're going to help them get assimilated faster. You're going to give them all the resources they need for their family to adjust quicker, right? But guess where I found these people? Through LinkedIn. So just know that you can do a lot of research through LinkedIn to find the clients that you want to work with. Hyper-local groups are going to be your buy-sell trade groups, right? Or hit Mount Juliet or hit Hendersonville, or these hyper-local Facebook groups that are for a specific locale in your market, right? These are going to be the same as Facebook groups. You're going to have to engage in them. You're going to have to give value. You're going to have to interact with people that are selling things or asking questions. Don't be afraid, too, to put all of your listings on Facebook Marketplace, or listings of your friends. That's a great way to generate leads as well, right? If you choose a listing that is in a decent price range, that seems like it would get a lot of attention, those are great lead generators for Facebook Marketplace. Doesn't have to be your listing. Check and defer to your broker. Nextdoor, we talked about. Again, Nextdoor is a great place because people are always looking for recommendations of things. And again, if I'm the town mayor and I have a connection for everything, I want to be the one that pipes up and says, Now here's the difference. I want to teach you guys something really important. When you have an opportunity to refer someone's services or recommend someone's services, do not just tag them in the post. I have not educated some people that are really nice and kind that tag me in things because I'll see it and they just tag my name. Well, I want you to understand there's 972 responses to that comment, right? You're lost. You need to write 3 to 5 sentences that have a pack a punch. Words are hard today. That pack a punch. You want to get someone's attention. So that means there should be a graphic that's attached to it. There should be some type of story about how they helped you. You don't just say, here's my electrician that my clients use and put their name and number. You say, I use Chad Groves exclusively and have referred him to over 50 clients in the last 2 years. They've all been very pleased with his service and his prices and has done an amazing job. That is a much better way to recommend and refer someone than just tagging their name, don't you think? It's going to actually be meaningful. They're going to actually put valid and weight on that, validity and weight on it, because it's actually telling a story of them. It's not just giving their name and number. That's a crapshoot. I don't know anything about that person, right? You should be using your next door that way, where you're telling stories and giving people information and insight about why you're recommending this person, and work in the word with my clients. Sponsored ads are another way online that you can actually draw attention. One thing I will tell you about sponsored ads is do not use the front page of the house, the front picture of the house. Use an interior picture, use a map. Maps actually have a lot more, they actually studies show that a map of where a house is located or a city, and it's just the map grid of Franklin, Tennessee or something, gets more clicks than any picture of a house in Franklin that you can find. So if you're gonna run sponsored ads, make them relatable. What stops you when you're scrolling? What grabs your attention? Right? Any questions about the left-hand side, those two quadrants, the strangers and online? Is this good stuff so far? Are you doing okay? All right. Let's move to the upper right, which is community. Community should be your biggest focus. This is your relationships. Building communities is how you have a steady, consistent business that produces results. That's going to come to you through networking. It's going to come to you through, and let me talk about networking for a second. I actually did a video this week where I actually went through my advice, like best strategies for networking success. It's on my YouTube channel. Real Success Blueprint is the name of it. You can find that video there. But I actually give a lot of tips on how to work a room, how to have goals when you go to a networking event, the types of questions that you ask to build relationships instead of what do you do. And it's also some strategies for you to have better success when you are at networking, how to follow up with people after a networking event. But networking is a great opportunity for you to meet people. But don't go to networking events where there are 500 other realtors. Right? Don't go to networking events that only have realtors. That cannot be your only source of networking for clients. Okay? And it doesn't always have to be networking events where it's a happy hour, where you're at a bar from 4 to 6 p.m. and leaving your young kids and family at home to go meet some strangers. Choose networking events that make sense for you, but learn how to do them properly. You don't just walk the room and hand out your card, y'all. You get contact information from other people and you learn things about people that you're going to use in your follow-up. There's a whole video on it. Go watch it. I would recommend. Chamber of Commerce is another great way, especially if you're in a smaller community. Some chambers of commerce are really expensive. So like the National Chamber of Commerce is really expensive because it covers a large metropolitan area, right? But some of the smaller cities like Columbia or Spring Hill or Mount Juliet or wherever, they have smaller chambers of commerce that are specific to their smaller city. There's also other types of chambers of commerce like an LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce or the Black Chamber of Commerce or women. There's all types of subgroups of chambers of commerce that you can join as well. For $450 a year, I can put my flyers and content in the visitor center in my little small town. I did it both in Beaufort and in Asheville. where I get to have my flyers. If I have new listings, I can go put that in the Chamber of Commerce in my shelf, and I can go to a listing appointment and say, any new visitors that are coming to town that stop by the visitor center are going to see your house. It's just another eyeball on the property. It's just another tool, right? The other part about Chamber of Commerce memberships is that you go to all the ribbon cuttings. You know what businesses are opening in your community. You're meeting other business owners who also have employees, who also have people moving to the town to work there. You want to earn the business of all those people. That makes sense? How to leverage the Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Past clients, obviously, if you're brand new, you don't have any, but maybe you have past clients from a previous industry you worked in. I have some agents that I coach that did a certain profession for over 20 years. And they have a whole book of business from that business for 20 years that they've never once called on. You already have a relationship with them. They already know you. It's a whole lot easier to have that conversation than to get a stranger on the phone and actually call me back. Right? So work on any past relationships, people you've worked with in the past, people you served with, people you went to church with, somebody you've had in your life in the past at some point. It could be an old kid's contact that you were friends with the mom and now your kids are all grown up and out of the house and you haven't seen them. That's an easier conversation to have. And people always give me pushback and say, well, I don't know what to say to someone I haven't talked to in 5 years. I feel slimy. I feel like a salesperson. You know what you say? I'm so sorry I didn't keep in touch with you. But I really would like to. Start fresh. Your sphere of influence are going to be all the people you already know. It's similar to your past clients or people you already have a relationship with. The only difference is that when it comes to your sphere of influence, a lot of agents will tell me, well, I don't have one. Or I'm new to town. I don't know a single person. I have picked up my business and I've moved it 4 times to 4 different states. And each time I had a sphere of influence of 0 in that location. And I used the memory jogger from Michael Mayer's 7 layers of communication, 7 levels of communication. If you just Google memory jogger, it'll come up in your thing. And I have identified, I would go through the list and say, well, who do I know? When you're brand new to town, you know nobody, you've got nobody. But you highlight the categories where you don't have anybody, you go meet them. It gives you a roadmap to follow of who you need to go meet, who you need to introduce yourself, who do you need to get a meeting with? Because again, if you're going to be the community connector, if you're going to be the town mayor, you need to have people in your Rolodex to share with people. The only way you're going to have a fencing guy, an electrician, a plumber, a carpet stretcher, a dog trainer, a barber, all these things is if you go meet them. Otherwise, you're taking other people's recommendations and you don't even know if that aligns with how you run your business. Go meet them yourself. Establish a relationship with them. Ask for recommendations from people and vet them yourself. But that's how you're going to extract business out of your sphere. The other part of your sphere of influence is that a lot of people have deep networks. A lot of agents that I coach have great deep networks, but they don't know what to say or what to do, how to get business from their sphere. How you get business from them is you spend time educating them about who your target client is. You got to get crystal clear on that yourself first. Who do you want to work with? Then once you are crystal clear, you want to educate these people. Hey, this is who I work with, and here's what makes me different. If you see yourself with an opportunity, if you see this, let's say I only work with redbirds. I'm just using an example. And I told you, redbirds are my birds. Those are the birds that I work with. And what I'm doing is planting the seed so that the next time you see a red bird, who are you thinking of? Me.
You.
That's right. But I have to take the time to educate them of who my bird is. Right? How do I help them? What is my special skill that helps the red bird? What makes them unique to me? What does my skill set? Why am I perfectly yoked for this client? You've got to get good about that. You have to get confident in explaining that to people. Selling yourself to yourself is your first job every day. The first sale you make every day is to you. And then you're going to make it to everybody else. But you have to confidently believe that this is my person. This is the one I want to work with. This is who I enjoy working with the most. This is who I relate to. And this is who I have access to. When I talk about target clients, people will tell me, well, I don't want to come up with too narrow of a niche because then I don't want to box myself in a corner where I can only sell houses to those people. That's not the point. The point is that you are narrowing, you guys are fishing from a great big ocean that has every type of fish known to man swimming by. And I want you fishing from a stocked pond that has only your type of fish in it. Because the message that you're putting out for that stocked pond is uniquely related to that fish. It is for you. When you are fishing from the great big ocean, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Darren, when you are fishing from the great big ocean that is just anybody who wants to buy or sell a house, you are spinning your wheels and getting nowhere. You don't get the results because your message is not being heard by the right people. And your message is not in front of enough of the people that you're trying to find. So you need to narrow your search down. Who do I want to work with? What is unique to them? And then your messaging needs to match that. I've had so many agents in my coaching career tell me that they want to be a luxury listing agent. And they're driving a Ford Pinto with a dented bumper and the light is hanging off. Right? I'm not saying you can't, but do you even have access to luxury buyers and sellers? Do they take you seriously? Are you legit? I say no if it doesn't match. So does your messaging match who you're trying to attract? And with your sphere of influence, do they all know who it is that you want to work with and what makes you different? You have a network of people that already know you and like you. Educate them about what makes you different. Educate them about who you're looking for so that when they see the red bird, they know that's for you. And then you've trained them how to refer them to you. Hey, when you do see a red bird, let me explain to you how you can send them to me. This is the best way for you to connect us. Otherwise, you're just going to get your name tagged and it's going to get lost. Teach them how to refer you. Teach them how to tag you. Teach them what to say. You're going to get much better results that way. Small businesses are easy. Like I said, that can be through your Chamber of Commerce or you highlighting small businesses in your community. Meet the business owners. Post up at the same coffee shop that you love, that's your favorite coffee shop. Post up there, meet the regulars that come in. Get to know the owners. Get to know the employees. They all are going to learn that you are in real estate and who do you help, right? Volunteer, and you can also negotiate discounts or specials or coupons or whatever. Susan, I'm going to come back to your answer in just a minute to your question. And I'm so sorry we're running out of time. I'm trying to go quickly. I'm almost done. Volunteering and sponsoring is another way that I've earned a lot of business. And the reason why is because when you volunteer for someone else, people get to know you. They get to know what you're about. They get to learn. You're not talking about real estate. You're talking about you. And let me tell you something about volunteering. It is very hard for you to be miserable in your own life when you're helping other people. You cannot worry about your own tragedies and how much money is not in your bank account when you're helping other people that have way less than you, that need you. Volunteering, and if you choose something that's near and dear to your heart, something that's important to you, it becomes something of passion. It becomes something you care about. You're going to treat those people differently that you're volunteering alongside, the people that you're serving. Volunteering has always been a great method for me. And sometimes that volunteering in my business, I'll apply it to real estate for you. I have done food drives. I have done supplies for battered women's shelters. I have done gift cards for kids in foster care. I've done suitcases for kids in foster care because they literally carry their stuff in a trash bag. And so one year my company wanted to get me a Christmas gift and I didn't need a Christmas gift. I would rather them either feed. I told them, you can either buy a tractor trailer full of food and we'll feed a community, or we can raise money and buy suitcases for foster kids because no kid deserves to carry their stuff in a trash bag from house to house to house. And so we literally raised enough money to buy 52 suitcases for group homes all over Franklin. And I was very proud of that. But I also did volunteer work at that facility because foster kids are near and dear to me. But I've actually earned several business opportunities from volunteering at that organization. So sometimes volunteering, which is just a selfless act, turns into a business opportunity for you. But my advice to you would be, don't go there with the intention. It's like joining the Lions Club or the Rotary. You do it because service over self means something to you and you want to give to an organization. The business is a byproduct of that. It comes out of it. Just show up, do the work, meet the people. Business will come from it. Events, I'm really big on events. Events allow you to be in front of more people at one time than having to talk to one person at a time. Most agents need to, at a very minimum, for their minimum income goals that they want to achieve, they have to meet at least 4 people a day. Most agents don't even meet 1 new person a day, much less 4 or 12. So events allow you to meet more people at one time. Again, I've done food drives, I've done school supplies, I've sponsored pet adoptions. This is as simple as contacting a grocery store and buying those disposable, reusable grocery bags that are branded to you. Ask the grocery store if you can post up a table, and you literally hand out grocery bags to the people going. Maybe you're there for an hour. You might drum up some opportunities that way. How are you putting yourself in front of your community? Where do they see you? Right? No one wants to be sold to. Do you like to be sold to? I get pissed off when I scroll and there's nothing but ads in my feed, right? We get tired of it. So stop trying to sell to people and start trying to be who you want people to see you as. What do you want them to know about you? We've done things with the elderly. We've done things with foster kids. Open houses are always good events because it's lower hanging fruit typically. I would recommend that you guys get, with the new changes with the NAR settlement, have some business cards printed up that have your information on it. It's called an open house pass. And it says, I'm being represented by Debbie Buckner at Benchmark Realty, and it has your name and phone number, and it has your email address on it. Get these printed up and hand them out to your clients so that when they go to open houses, all the agents know that they're represented by you. Okay? Business cards are cheap. You can get a whole box of them for 25 bucks, right? Referrals are a great way, but again, are you maximizing your relationships with agents in other cities, in other states? How do you want them to refer people to you? Again, when they see an opportunity, I don't want you just to tag my name. I want you to say 3 to 5 sentences. Here's what you might want to say about me. You also, I've had a lot of clients that are engineers, fact finders, data-driven people. Like the engineer type doesn't really think, like they're not good writers sometimes. And so I've had to actually write out for them a testimonial or write out how I want them to refer people to me. And they just save it. But I've had to do that because they're not really good at crafting the words, and I want it done a certain way, right? I want it to hit somebody so that they have to call me. It's a no-brainer. The last quadrant I have for you is traditional marketing. The one thing I want to tell you about marketing is you may not have a big budget, okay? I was a single mom for probably 15 years where I didn't have a lot of money to market myself. I didn't have a lot of money to market my business. But one thing I'll tell you, you cannot, again, you're not meeting enough people in person. You're not promoting your business. How are you ever going to have enough customers to pay your bills and to make a living? You got to get in front of people. So traditional marketing methods, some of which are going to be energy and effort, and some are going to cost money. Some things are free if you gather people's email addresses. It's just time. So start gathering people's email addresses so that you have a database to market to. You have a list of people. So some of these traditional marketing methods might be mailers, things that you mail out. Remember, that's very passive. If you're going to mail something, it needs to have a call to an action and driving them to your website or a landing page to collect information from them. Or it might be a QR code, getting them to download some free guide or ebook or something. And that also is a call to action, and it's driving them to collect information. Okay. I do use reminder media magazines. I put those in doctor's office, anywhere where there's a waiting room. So at hair salons, at the dentist, at the orthodontist, at the doctors, it's a magazine that costs me probably $2 to $3, and I leave them everywhere where they can be left. They've got recipe cards. It's a great little quality magazine, but anywhere where there's waiting rooms and there's magazines, I leave those around. Again, very passive, But the active part is I'm actually engaging, like this goes to all my past clients. It goes to my sphere of influence. It goes to people that I've met that are connectors to me, referral partners. They all get a copy of it too. Again, we talk about the newspaper, unless your client is above a certain age and where you live matters. Smaller towns, the newspapers tend to have more readership among a certain age group. I want you to remember too that the newspaper also has other products that they do allow you to sponsor and market in. So the newspaper will do like a quarterly relocation spotlight, or they have a specific product that is just for people new to the area or something like that. You can advertise and market yourself in newspaper products. It doesn't have to be the actual newspaper itself. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? That there's little inserts that are done certain times of the year that you can advertise in that doesn't have to be the newspaper, the tangible newspaper itself. A lot of people too get their news online now. And a lot of those news channels online have sponsorship opportunities for banner ads or, various things. So you may want to look into that. Newsletters, you should have a newsletter. If it's monthly or quarterly, does not matter to me, but it is the one piece that you're going to put in every person you meet's hands along the way. They don't have to be real long and complicated. It can be simple as like, what do people want to know about from you? What are you doing? What are you working on? Do you have an event coming up? Is there a recipe you've tried? Where's the list of summer camp things for kids? Where's the best things for barbecuing or tips for adopting a pet? Like, it doesn't matter. It's lifestyle things that people are interested in. And a newsletter is probably one of the easiest things that you can do. And if you start collecting email addresses, you can send it through email and not mail, and which saves you money. Okay. Postcards, again, are going to be very passive. If you're trying to avoid it going into the trash can, you want to have a postcard that actually packs a punch. It should not look like everybody else's. The size should be different. Don't go with the generic cheapest postcard size. Go with something that's oddly shaped, brightly colored, something that grabs the attention. The same thing when you mail things. Letters mailed to around circle prospecting, I never ever put those in a white envelope. They go in brightly colored envelopes, and they're usually hand addressed if I can get away with it. If not, at least the envelope does not look like it's junk mail. It's a brightly colored envelope that is more likely to get opened than a white one that's just pre-sorted with a label on it, right? Relocation guides, again, you should all have a relocation guide for your area that you live in. What do people want to know who are relocating to your area? They may want to know specific information about the various counties. They may want to know which zip codes are in which area, top neighborhoods in each county, whatever it is. You might want to have areas of interest. You might want to have local phone numbers. You might want to have like things that are specific, like festivals that your area has all year. But relocation guides is your ticket to anytime somebody is moving to your area, is something you get to put in their hand that is their first introduction to your location and your market through you. Very easy to create one of those. Ebooks, like I said, it does not have to be on real estate specifically. Your ebooks can be about anything. They can be home buyer guides and seller guides and that kind of information, but it also can be, I have a golf guide for Nashville. So I had a client who was a big avid golfer, and we put together a golf guide. The wife was a hiker, so I put together a list of all the best places to hike around Nashville. Those are ebooks that now I use as lead magnets, but they were created for a client, but now I use them as lead magnets for other people about my area. Because again, I'm the town mayor. I want people to know what there is to do in my location, in my market. It's more than selling houses, y'all. And then handwritten notes is always my thing. I have a minimum of 5 a day I send. The handwritten notes are touch points for people that are, hey, I see you. I'm sorry you lost your pet. Congratulations on your job promotion. I saw your kids going off to college. I know how scary that is. It's I see you. It's human behavior. They're handwritten, thoughtful notes. I am never putting my business card inside of those if it's somebody I already know. They are just heartfelt notes that, and I can't tell you, I've had people I have a realtor that is a new construction consultant. I sent him a handwritten note just as a thank you for dealing with me and one of my clients that came out to his location, his model home. And he kept that thank you note in his portfolio for 3 years, every single day. And said that he just kept reading it anytime real estate was beating him up. You don't know what kind of impact you have on people at all, but I will promise you the world needs more good. The world needs more heartfelt messages. They need kindness, they need compassion, and they need personal touches. Someone can buy a house on the internet without you, but should they? They want your guidance. They need you, the expert, right? They need to know that they're in safe hands, that they can be trusted, that you can be trusted to help them navigate this process, and that you're going to help them avoid litigation. You're going to help them avoid picking the wrong house. You're going to help them avoid getting in over their head or not negotiating repairs properly. That's what they're relying on you for. We know they can do it without us, but should they? So much could go wrong. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, we kind of already talked about statistics. The last thing I'm going to mention is what I have at the top, which is be the helper, the volunteer, the connector, the town mayor, not the salesperson. The salesperson makes you feel icky, and it is icky. People don't like being sold to, but they have respect for people who help. They have respect for people who give of their time and energy, right? They have respect for people that connect them and go out of their way to make an introduction to them, to make them feel more welcome, to talk to them. Try a little kindness, try being a little bit more human, let people behind the curtain, build your community, put content out that attracts the people you're trying to work with, and you're gonna find clients. But your clients are not going to fall out of the sky mysteriously because you put one post on Facebook, or maybe you tried Facebook ads, or you went out and did an event one time and nobody showed up. You got to keep doing it every day. The last thing I'll tell you is build some consistency and routine where there isn't any. So I told you I've got certain things that I do every single day. I have at least 5 things that I do regardless of what my day looks like. Handwritten notes is one of them. Searching the MLS and reading the hot list is another. I'm doing database calls, right? I schedule 2 appointments a day, and I'm talking to at least 2 referral partners. And then I'm adding a certain number of people to my database every single day. You need to decide for yourself, what are the 5 routine or regimented things that you're going to do for your business, that no matter what happens, no matter what kind of crazy clients you have, or deals that fell apart, or young kids at home, or you're a new parent, or you got no kids and your dog is sick, no matter what life brings at you, you at least did these things to support your business today as a business owner. This is not a job. You don't have a job. You own a real estate business. That is a very different vernacular. If this is a job, you can quit tomorrow. This is a business that you own. So treat it like you own a business. You have to promote your business to get customers. And the way that you're promoting your business isn't in line with who you're trying to attract, right? Does all that make sense? Let me make sure I answered the questions that were asked of me before I let you guys go. And
Laura, this is Susan. I can message you outside later.
oh, it's fine.
Okay.
How do you feel about 2 niches, downsizers, elderly, and relo? I think that's perfectly great. I think you can, I would encourage your messaging to really focus on downsizers and elderly, like that's your focus, but you can also do relocation specially. You can also build a relocation business on the side.
I have like national pages that I created because I lead groups and things, but I'm brand new to Colorado. And people love moving to Colorado.
Yes.
And the locals don't like that. But I also have, experience with the elderly downsizing. So I was going to try to put, and I figured their kids probably live out of state. Does that make sense?
Yes. And see, that's the one thing I love about specializing in downsizers or the elderly is that there's so much that people don't know. There's not a lot of information out there about what order you need to do things in. You need an advisor to help you navigate that, right?
Yeah,
It's an area that there's not a lot of specialization. It's an area where you can literally fill your toolbox full of resources for elderly people that are beneficial and helpful to people. You can create ebooks and guides on what order to do things in and how to talk to mom about moving to assisted living or what to do with her belongings. You know, like there's so many resources that you can put together to promote this specialization. And it's an underutilized and underserved group of people that it's easy. It's going to be easier for you to really drill down on that and become known as the person who is the go-to person.
okay, great.
That makes sense?
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, Debbie, I'm glad it was a good reminder. I'm glad that it was helpful. Does anybody else have any comments or questions for me that, you know, are there any areas that you've gotten clients in the past that we didn't talk about? Not yet? Okay. It's okay. The thing is what I want you to hear me tell you is that you are the special sauce of this business. You and how you tick and how you think, what you look like, how you talk to people, how you show up is the key to your success. Do you show up as the person who is confident and prepared, or are you 10 minutes late, foaming at the mouth, and don't even know what's next, right? What eludes confidence in you? How you carry yourself, how you approach people, how you treat people, and your ability to share with them some of your knowledge without overwhelming them is how you're going to earn their trust and confidence in you, right? But you've got to start with a relationship. It's the same thing as if you have children, you cannot correct them without a relationship, right? You're not going to let somebody beat your kid. You're not going to let someone talk to your kid any kind of way. You're not going to let some step parent come in, move in tomorrow, and think that they're going to control your house without having a relationship with your kid, right? It's the same thing with your clients. You cannot force them to sign contracts without a relationship feeling safe and secure. You cannot get them to sign things without them feeling confident that it's okay to do so. You're the right choice. I'm okay to commit with you because you are the no-brainer. I know I'm in good hands with you, but I got to feel safe and secure to sign that and to feel that way. And the only way people are going to feel safe and secure is if you work on your relationship with them. And your relationships come in your activities. And I'm just telling you, stop chasing these strangers that are not for you. Stop wasting your money on courses and platforms and things that you think are going to make you rich faster. Spend your money on loving people and get out of your house and off your damn computer and go talk to people. Okay? I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I'm really grateful that you guys took the time to come today. Your clients are going to come to you because of you. They're going to come because they want to work with you because they feel safe with you. You have to demonstrate to the world that you're the right choice. You're the right person. If Susan is specializing in elderly and, transitioning seniors, then she's got to message. Her messaging has to show me that that's what she's special. That's what she knows. I need to call her because she has all the answers that I need, right? She's also going to protect me. You want people to reach out to you because you are the obvious choice. And the only way someone thinks you're the obvious choice is if you've done your job educating them about who you work with and how you do it and what makes you different than anyone else. And you do not need to put anybody else down to talk to people about what makes you different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about shouting from the rooftops what makes me unique and special. What do I have that you need? What do I bring to this table that is of value to you that separates me from the 26,000 other realtors that you get to choose from? Get really good about vocalizing that. Get really comfortable and confident, even if that is only two things. Even if yours is, I answer my phone. I stay up to date. I know what the contract says. Those two things alone are more important than what some 22 other thousand people are doing. They're just posting the picture of the front of the house. That doesn't tell me anything about you. Let people behind the curtain, let them know who you are, and let them know what you're good at. That makes sense? All right, go find some clients. I'll see you next Thursday at 1 o'clock. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all go get it.